The Denver Broncos are 2 days away from their first home playoff game in a decade. We can't wait. There's so much to talk about. And we only have 2 shows left before the game, so we better get into it. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. Studio. This is the DNVR Broncos Podcast presented by Bet365. Time to become a playoff member. I think that hits all of it because we're in the Xfinity studio. That's an easy one today. I'm Henry Chisholm. This is RK, and we've got a lot to talk about, including some breaking news.
Yeah, some breaking news off the top here. Won't be relevant to all of our listeners, but might be very relevant to Maria and Malcolm. Yes, you. If you're listening to this, your dad wanted us to let you know that he hopes you're excited for the Broncos game on Saturday because you guys are going to be going to the game.
Wow. Maria and Malcolm.
Pretty sick. Shout out to Dad for hooking us up to share that.
Yes. No, that's awesome. Oh, I wish I was going to the game. You are going to the game.
I am going to the game.
You're going with Maria and Malcolm?
Could be.
Who's to say?
I might run into them there because they're going to be going.
Yeah.
They should probably stop by the DNVR tailgate as well.
Probably. Yeah, I can't. It hit me last night. I was writing. I was really writing a lot yesterday. I talked to Zach Allen for like 10 minutes yesterday and got a whole bunch of really interesting stuff about the pass rush. I need to save a bunch of it for the story, but I'll throw this out there. When he first got to the Broncos, I think it was after like a couple of practices, OTA practices. At the time, remember, Nik Bonitto is not a starter. Like Nik Bonitto is like your bench guy. You have Baron Browning, you've got Coop and all that. And Zach Allen went to George Payton and said, I want to play next to Nik Bonitto. It's like, that is the guy I want to play next to. And ever since, it's been Bonitto on the right edge, Zach Allen next to him, JFM, and then Cooper.
Yep.
And the way that they talk about playing with each other is really incredible. Just all the different things that they can do. Like for Zach, obviously the big thing is like Nik Bonitto just gets off the ball so fast. He gets up the field so fast that all of a sudden that B gap is massive. And so he has all that room to work. Then he can pull back. And then that changes how JFM plays. A whole bunch of interesting stuff. And I got to talk to him for like 10 minutes. But when I was writing that last night, that's when it hit me. Like, it's almost here.
Yeah. I mean, it brings me back to Von Miller talking about him and Derek Wolfe. He always used the most like Dallas guy reference ever, saying that they were what did he say? Steve Nash and Dirk. No, was Nash always on the Suns, or was Nash briefly with the Mavs?
Jason Kidd.
Jason
or was it Jason Terry?
Jason Kidd was on the Mavs. I don't know. I feel like he said like Steve Nash and Dirk. Which
he might have said that. I don't think that's right, but he might have said it.
It could be right. I don't know. Maybe a little bit before our time.
Oh, yeah. Nash is a Mav.
Yeah. Okay. That was right.
Jose would know.
So Vaughn, with a very niche childhood memory of Nash and Nowitzki.
Right. Yeah. No, 1998 to 2004. So that would be prime Vaughn, like growing up basketball era.
That's crazy because I started watching the NBA 3rd grade. So that would have been like 2001. I don't remember that at all.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, so I was 97. We don't need to be going down the Steve Nash rabbit hole today. There's too much to talk about.
I mean, Vaughn used to talk about that all the time. Like, we're the duo. We work off of each other. Everything that I do is because of him. Everything that he does is because of me.
Mm-hmm. Again, like talking to Zach Allen about it. He was like, yeah, for me and JJ Watt in Arizona, it took like a couple years for all of it to work. And he's like, well, it was mostly my fault because I was a rookie and didn't know what I was doing and didn't understand. But then the fact that we came here and then like with JFM immediately just see the game the same way and how the numbers work and how the spacing works and how we can work together and just know how each other plays. It's crazy. And then with the kicker, the whole thing being, oh, you think you have like a plan to stop all this? Well, here comes Jaquan off the edge. Like you just can't stop it. And hearing them talk about it that way, I think they're ready to beat the hell out of the Bills.
gosh, I need my Jamal Murray turning to the crowd and saying, we're ready for this moment.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a good point.
If someone could matriculate that down to someone on the Broncos, like Nik Bonitto gets a sack. The sky cam's right there. He looks right into it and says, we're ready for this.
Yeah. That's tough because you're just so much farther from the cameras there. Because in the NBA, the cameras are just, it's right there.
Right. And your whole face is exposed.
Right. You're not covered. So, it has to be somebody who doesn't wear a visor.
Yeah.
Or somebody on the sideline. So like Sean would obviously be an option. He's the guy who gets close-ups. You don't know the close-ups on you. If somebody's on the sideline without a helmet, it's just tough to know.
Remember when he scored that rushing touchdown against the Giants and like did a little
he
lap
did the victory lap
field?
past the Giants sideline, yes.
He does that, does his lap, then runs back to the sideline, takes his helmet off, looks right into the camera, says we're ready for this.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've never been more confident my team was going to win a championship than right then with Jamal.
No, it was electric. I feel like you need to have a moment like that. And it can't just be like a sack dance or something. It really does have to be like so direct. It's like, Shador took the watch thing. It's like you get like it's time or like something, because it almost needs to be like, it's tough to do like lip reading. It has to be like a
that would
gesture.
Be so nasty if Bo threw a touchdown pass and just started tapping his watch.
The thing is, Shador took that one.
No, that's watch up.
He
doesn't have like
the people who are really into it would know like the differences. I think a lot of us would just be like, oh, that's the watch thing, you know. I think a lot of watch things blend together.
That'd be crazy.
Okay.
People thought. I mean, if anything, tapping the watch is Dame Lillard.
That's right. Remember when he mattered?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was.
Except
fun.
for when you had to play him.
Yeah. It's almost there. As we wait for Dave Logan, who should be calling in at any moment, we're going to be talking about keys of the game today, of course. We're going to talk to Dave about his thoughts on the whole thing. Also, going to hear from Zach. Zach not here today because today, technically a Friday practice, technically, I'm not sure which way it is technically. On their schedule, it's essentially the same as the Friday practice, which means it's a shorter practice, which means he had to get out there in time to be there for everything. So we're holding down the fort. But he's going to call in from practice here in about 30 minutes or so, which should be a good time.
Should be a great time. And I just have to say, like, what a moment for Broncos fans this weekend. It's crazy to think. I know for me, like, I really took it for granted.
Oh, yeah.
Even, I don't think the slight lull there was between Elway and Manning really hit me as like it can all just be taken from you.
Well, and you thought every year, pretty close to every year, that there was a chance.
There's always,
like Jake Plummer gets there, and then Jay Cutler comes in.
Yes. Yeah. So like there was always hope, and it always felt like, especially when Shanahan was the coach, like we're so close to being right back where we were.
Benny in the chat? There's either Benny in the chat or a Benny impersonator in the chat. That's fun.
That's my guy.
Yeah, we should have invited him.
Appreciate it, by the way.
Yes.
You have those moments, and then like McDaniel's era just felt like it came and went so fast, and then we were kind of just back.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is the longest drought without a home playoff game since the Broncos first made the playoffs.
Right.
So like it isn't just like a thing that happens. And even for any team. I mean, how many teams go 10 years without a home playoff game? Like the Raiders do, but not many others.
Totally. And so this moment on Saturday is going to be incredibly rare. And I've had like Bills fans in my mentions from the thing that I said when our show was like, what's the difference between this year and last year? I was talking about how it's at home, and they're like, oh, like you guys think that your crowd is crazier than Arrowhead? Like it actually will be this week. Like I'm not like I could get into like a petty thing where I'm like Arrowhead isn't all that great. That's not even what I'm saying right now. The hunger in this fan base would only have been matched by that fan base in the first maybe one or two runs that they went on.
Right.
When because didn't they lose to Brady in the AFC Championship?
Was that their Mahomes' second year?
Yes, okay. I think so. So then like that year going into the third year, like, yeah, those fans are hungry. Winning championships takes a little bit of the bite out of the fan base. Yep. Broncos fans have been starved long enough now. The bite is fully going to be there. Wait until you hear just the desperation and the just full-on intensity of this crowd on Sunday. It's a rare thing for a team that's like the 1 seed and has home field advantage to be as hungry as this fan base is.
Yep. I mean, the Nuggets crowd the year they won the championship was insane. Like it was the best crowd in the NBA. And then it's still a good crowd. It just isn't quite like the Thunder crowd last year was the insane crowd. They're the ones where you're just like, oh my God. Or like the Pacers were that way too, because they just don't have anything.
Yes. You can't fake desperation.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm starting to get desperate for the Nuggets again.
Good.
I'm almost back.
Are you desperate for the Avs?
I'm having too much fun for it to feel desperate.
Yeah.
Because
it's a little too easy right now.
I mean, they're the best offense in the NHL by a significant margin and the best defense by a significant. And when you have both those two, it's like, it's unstoppable. But yeah, I'm not feeling desperate. I feel desperate for the Broncos. Yeah. Because again, like there's also in other sports, I feel like there's more continuity from year to year. Like the Thunder from last year are different than the Thunder from this year, but not by much. Like they'll be pretty similar the next year, The Nuggets kind of the same thing, and they'll have like the little float, but they're kind of in the same tier consistently over and over. In the NFL, everything just flips over and over and over again. I've said it before, but I mean, in the past decade, 9 of the 20 number 1 seeds have missed the playoffs the next year, which is crazy to think about, to go from best team in the conference to not even in the playoffs the next year. And so you combine like, we haven't had a game like this in forever with the fact that it feels like they have a great chance to go and not just win this one, but go to the Super Bowl. And then the fact that like things just, there's a level of magic to this run that sometimes that doesn't just like show up again next year, that creates the urgency, and combine all that and the desperation is just ridiculous.
And the opponent matters too. Like you ask anyone who has season tickets, they'll tell you the craziest game this year was the Chiefs game. And that's when the Chiefs were still a thing. And it was like, you want to beat them so badly and you respect them and you just have to have this one.
Right.
And then I think they would say probably the second loudest was the Packers. And again, it's because of respect for the opponent. Broncos fans respect the Bills.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like, you could make a case about the Jags.
We don't respect them.
Exactly.
I think Sean Payton said the small market thing, so he doesn't even respect them.
Yeah.
I think there's
said
some
if they
people
were wearing Ravens jerseys, I would respect them.
Right. Exactly. I think fans certainly don't respect them. I think like the real ball knowers who just like study things, like they might respect them, but that's not like your average Bronco fan. The average Bronco fan just says like, that's the Jags.
Right. And I actually was saying in my take, like from a pure ball perspective, they are respectable. It's just something about the Jags uniforms that doesn't bring it out of you.
Tough to respect.
The Bills uniforms will do that for this fan base on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be fun to watch.
It is.
Fun to be a part of. I won't be watching. I'll be losing my voice.
A couple of, no big news, obviously, other than for Malcolm and Maria, of course. But there was an injury update yesterday. So we'll get final announcements today about the game. They have to give like your game status. So you guys have seen those: out, questionable, probable, whatever. But yesterday for the Bills, only a couple of things really changed. So Josh Allen, we talked about, was a limited participant in the first practice.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Yeah, plus a few others. He was a full participant yesterday. Again, like he's going to play. We know that he is going to go play the game, so it's not that big of a deal. And then you also have Shaq Thompson pop up on the injury report. So he was just fine. You remember, he's the athletic linebacker, runs the middle for him in that Tampa 2 defense. One of the few kind of like speedy guys for his position on that entire Bills defense. He popped up on the injury report as limited with a neck injury yesterday, which means that the way that the term limited works means you missed at least one rep, but you participated in at least one rep. So odds are you pop up on it, you have the injury during practice. And so you start the practice and don't finish. Shaq Thompson with the neck injury. So along with everything else, we'll get the official statuses. Eventually, Sean McDermott said on the radio this morning, like, no Jordan Poyer, but we kind of knew that. So we're getting closer to all the answers.
Yeah. Shaq Thompson, if they don't have him, that changes a lot for them.
Yeah. Again, because like you talk about the exotic coverages and those sorts of things, the different ways they rotate all those pieces. he's the linebacker who rotates back and crashes outside, whatever it may be. So yeah, you do have to change things a little bit. A lot more to talk about, keys of the game, all of that. But first, got to give a shout out to some of our friends. Goldbelly is the place to go if you are looking for some awesome food. So the thing about Goldbelly is you don't have to be in the same place as the food you want, which can be kind of annoying. You know, like sometimes I want food from home, like some Huckleberry cheesecake. I know they have it on Goldbelly up in Montana. Huckleberries everywhere. Down in Colorado, not easy to find, and they'll just ship it right to you. So whatever you're looking for, whether it's pizza from New York or Chicago or seafood, if you want a specific kind of seafood from a specific place, they've got all sorts of options from all over the country, and they ship it straight to you. It's an awesome product. It's really good stuff, and they have all sorts of different things. Like right now, they've got a bunch of Mardi Gras king cake. So if you're somebody who has ties to Louisiana, New Orleans, wants to get in on the action, there's one way to do it. Whether you're looking to turn game day into an unforgettable experience with friends, impress a loved one on Valentine's Day, go to goldbelly.com, get 20% off your first order with promo code DNVR, goldbelly.com, code DNVR for 20% off your first order. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends over at New Built Construction and Restoration. They've got all sorts of options for you depending on what you need. They're licensed general contractors. They can help you with any product or project, whether it's big, whether it's small. They're available 24/7. They care about being there for their customers. They have over 600 reviews to prove that that is true. They've got the ability to work on all sorts of different repair services. So if you're looking for somebody to solve some water damage or remove mold, just any sort of repairs, commercial products, fire damage, they have the options for you. Just get in touch with New Built. They're huge DNVR people, and so we want to support them as well. Go check them out. When that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration Construction will be there at nubilt.com or 720-903-4254. Let them know that DNVR sent you. Back into the Xfinity studio. This is DNVR Broncos Podcast presented by Bet365, where if you bet $5, you get $200, whether that bet wins or loses.
Pretty sick.
Zach's
going to be joining us in just a second as we work on getting Dave Logan on. Mm-hmm. That's probably him right there. But one thing I will say about Shaq Thompson, I guess it's possible that he woke up on the wrong side of the bed and his neck just kind of hurt.
Oh, definitely. I think today's the big day for Shaq because if he left practice yesterday with a neck injury, then he could, if he's not there today, then we kind of know. But if he was just my neck feels kind of weird and missed 3 plays and then was right back in, it's no big deal. But we have Zach, who, he's out at the Broncos facility. How's it going, Zach?
Fellas, I love the shirt, Ryan. I might have to cover that just so people behind me don't see that out here.
Yeah, exactly. This is top secret clothing right here.
I'll tell you what, that is not an ugly shirt at all.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hot streak.
Neither is yours, even though you're only supposed to wear them on Fridays.
Yeah, but today is a Friday for the Broncos, essentially, I thought about that. The debate went back and forth in my head, but today's a Friday.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What are you trying to learn out there today?
Well, I'm trying to learn a little bit more about J.K. Dobbins. Fellas, yesterday we saw him on the side field, but he was moving on the side field. And that was the first sight of him that we've seen on a semi-practice field since he got injured. So want to see if he's back out there again. Obviously, I don't think that's going to have an impact on this game, but it is a potential buildup for him playing potentially next week. So that's the number one thing I'm looking for. We expect Dre Greenlaw to go. We expect John Franklin Myers to go. So we pretty much know the Broncos injury report because it's pretty much crystal clean. But the Bills is something I'm looking forward to seeing later today. We already know the Bills are ruling a few guys out. So it's kind of looking past into the AFC Championship game on if Dobbins is going to be there.
Zach, this is an odd question, but I'll preface it before it in a way that Sean Payton would hate to explain why that it's relevant. When I was at Super Bowl 50 in Santa Clara, I just remember being around all of the Denver media and everyone was like, the Broncos are going to win this game. And I think they were 7.5-point dogs. But even the hater media was like, the Broncos are going to win this game. And so I was like, all right, well, if all these people who have been covering the team for all these years feel like they're going to win, that's probably a good sign. What's the vibe of the other media right now? Do they think the Broncos are going to win?
That's a great question. I'll do my digging today to figure that out. But there's a very positive vibe around here. I mean, I think people expect to be out here next week. So I guess that kind of answers your question. This does not feel like a down mood with the others around here. Well, let me just ask. I have someone holding my camera still. BK, do you think the Broncos are going to win? Yes, BK thinks the Broncos are going to win. So that's a 1-for-1 right there.
Wow.
Dang, he's doing a great job holding that still. It's still as can be.
Yeah, it's a little windy.
Wow.
He came in and my tripod's a little skinny and it was blowing, so he's holding it still. He's doing the great work. He's a diehard, he says.
Can we get someone else to hold you so you don't blow away?
Can we get
I know. That's why I had to go with the big hoodie today, guys.
I want another tripod so that we can also watch BK hold the tripod.
Oh, yeah, we need a third angle.
Tripod.
Yeah.
Or second angle.
It is crazy how level he is keeping that. He's doing some great work.
Yeah, he is.
If I swayed, does it make it seem like the camera's swaying?
See, I wonder if you would distract him. He tries to track you, but no, he keeps it steady. So J.K. Dobbins is one of the big questions. I feel like at this point in the week, this part of the week, though, we've kind of learned all there is to learn, right? Other than the injuries.
Yep, exactly. And especially for the Bills, those ones will come out later. I mean, we looked at the injury report yesterday, guys, and there was 5 guys that did not practice, but there were like 8 guys that were limited in practice. Josh Allen upgraded to full, but we still know he's banged up. So it's about those 8 other guys that are limited. Are any of them questionable? Do they have like half their guys on the game status report? And, 4 are out and 4 are questionable. So that's something that we're going to learn in just a couple of hours from now. But the Broncos, the only questions on the injury front are they going to elevate and activate for this game Lucas Kroll and or Drew Sanders? But neither of those, if they are activated, will have much of an impact in this game. And that's why I don't expect them to be activated before the game.
I was about to say the hay is in the barn, but didn't Sean Payton recently say he hates that phrase?
The hay is never in the barn, Ryan. That is correct.
Oh,
that is a quote from Sean Payton himself right there because, he'll remind you that, what was it? What game was it? There was some game early in the season.
It was the Giants game.
It was the Giants game. Yes, that's absolutely right. Where he drew up a play the night before, and that was an example. It was a game-winning play. That was the example of that the hay is never in the barn. So keep that to yourself, Ryan.
I love that.
Just like your shirt.
I want my barns hayless.
I just somebody who I would imagine I've been in more barns than either of you. Sometimes all the hay is in the barn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go to the barn, boom, hay.
Have you ever tried to move hay? Apparently you have.
I don't know that. I've
There's
picked it
gonna
up.
be a couple strands that stay out of the barn.
How could you go into a barn if the entire barn is full of hay? Because that's the only way the barn can be full of hay.
No, you would just be out of hay outside the barn.
It's
you
one
can always get more hay. That's Sean Payton's point. You can always get more hay.
There's only one
literally
field.
Full.
The field is the hay. The hay's gone. You cut the hay. You cut the hay. You rolled the hay.
We're gonna need a farmer to chime in.
Maybe this is a question. Maybe this is a question for Sean today. How do you know that the barn isn't full of the hay?
No, ask him what percentage of the hay is in the barn.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. I wonder if you'd hate that or love that question.
Ooh, ask him how much or how he decides which hay to leave out the longest.
All right.
It's the hay that he doesn't know.
The third down hay?
What's your question today?
Oh boy, that's what's the question?
And if you say it now, BK can't take it.
That's true. If I spill the beans, BK, what's your question to Sean today? Let me ask him, and then I'll steal his question. Downhill. Oh, we're gonna ask about linebackers running downhill.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
That's a good question, BK. They like that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
What should my question be, guys? I mean, kind of like you said, the hay is in the barn.
No, it's not.
Our
hay. It's not. We got to find out more. What do we need to know?
I would imagine as a farmer.
Toyota chat.
Farmer Zach would get his hay into the barn the fastest of any farmer.
That is so true.
That hay would be in the barn so quickly.
It'd be in the barn before it even grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He would just plant the hay in the barn so he never has to move it.
Smart.
That's a genius idea.
Yeah, I know. I don't have any great questions today.
I would want to know what he thinks. What's that like? What is Bo? I don't know. I'd have to think about this more to ask it in a way, but I want to know like what he thinks makes a quarterback that performs great in the playoffs. What are
That's a really good question.
What are the key components?
I think that could be asked similar to that. Yeah. I think that could be asked similarly to that. Or his answer will be what he answers for when you ask him, like, what makes a good road team? What makes a good team in the cold? What makes a good team in a dome? And he just goes back to a good team makes a good team in the cold. So he might say, like, a good quarterback makes a good quarterback in the playoffs. But maybe he'll also have a little bit more insight to that. I like that question.
He usually has interesting things to say about weather.
Yeah.
Like if you ask him about the weather, because we're all like, oh, it's going to be like 40 whatever degrees, pretty simple. But he'll have something about how, like, oh, well, the sun this time of the year goes down on this side. And so if you know.
Yep. All right, Zach.
Henry, he won't even leave that up for a question. My guess is he gets on the podium today and says, well, we're looking at 52 and sunny, slight winds from the north to the east. And that's my guess of what he's going to do today.
Yeah. All right, Zach. We're going to hit a quick break, but we appreciate you calling in. Good luck with your question. We'll be listening to find out how it goes.
What's the question?
Classic.
Nice.
See you, fellas.
Factor is an awesome option for all sorts of different people, depending on what you're trying to achieve with your diet. Whether you're trying to lose weight, you want to go low calorie or keto, or you just want food that's more convenient and doesn't cost as much as eating out or however you're solving your. I always struggle with, like, I'll get done writing like last night at like 8:00. Lexi's out of town, and so then I have to figure out what dinner is. And so I wind up just getting like Panda Express or something. And Factor is an awesome option. You know, back, when was it? Like 3 years ago, I went on probably a year straight of eating like 70% food from Factor. And it really was awesome. I think I need to get back into it because you just have like all these meals right there. And they're all chef prepared, dietitian approved. Factor is awesome. If you want to eat smart, do so at factormeals.com/DNVR50 off. You can use the code DNVR50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. It's code DNVR50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. This exclusive holiday offer won't last, so lock in your savings. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto renew and subscription purchase. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Toyota. RK is here, and he just drove over, I would imagine, in his Toyota. Toyotas, they're the way to go. They've got all sorts of different cars, depending on what you're looking for. If you want to get up into the mountains, the SUVs, the trucks, they have just about any sort of option you could want for off-roading or hauling. They also have options to reduce your carbon footprint or save on your gas bill. 17 models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max Hybrid truck. More low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. So go check them out. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores, the location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota Denver, Stevenson Toyota East, Aurora Stevenson Toyota West and Lakewood. Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL, official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. All right, back into the DNVR Broncos podcast from the Xfinity studio. Podcast presented by Bet365, I should say. And now we get to go to the Xfinity mobile call-in line to hear from the voice of the Denver Broncos, Dave Logan. How's it going, Dave?
Can you hear us,
Hey,
Dave?
guys.
Oh, there
you go. How's your day going? What's you up to? You going to practice?
Yeah, just on my way to the facility, and everything's good. How about you guys?
Oh, not bad. So we've been talking. Ryan said last week that the nerves hit him. When was that? Like Tuesday or so? You're like, oh, this butterflies. This is real. This is really going to happen. Yesterday for me, last night was when I was like, wow, the Broncos actually have a home playoff game. 10-year streak is over. I'm wondering if you ever have those sorts of moments where it's not nerves for the call, but just pretty cool butterflies to realize that this is happening here again.
Oh, for sure. I mean, absolutely. It's every single day this week for me is kind of built up, right? Because when you think about a home playoff game, it's been a minute, right? You go back to the 2015 season the last time the Broncos had a home playoff game. So I think it's different than what players experience for sure, but there is a buildup of excitement that I can feel, and I can feel it even around town. Just having people, you're out and about grabbing a coffee or whatever, people will say like, I just came from the dentist, and the topic of conversation was, hey, what do you think is going to happen on Saturday with the Broncos and the Bills? I think the Broncos are going to beat the Bills, and then I think they're going to beat the Patriots, and then I think they're going to play the Seahawks. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right. This is all you've got some sort of instrument in my tooth. So it's really pretty cool.
That's awesome. Dave, what do you think is going to be the key to this game from a Broncos perspective? What's the one thing where you're like, man, if I could guarantee they're going to do this, I'll feel really good about it?
I don't think there's one thing. But there are probably 4 or 5 things that they have to, in my mind, that they have to get done to give them the best chance to win. I think number one is, and I said it, earlier this week, you can't look up at the end of the game and see James Cook with 24 rushes for 161 yards. And he's that kind of back. I mean, I think James Cook, honestly, is a top 5 back in our league. You have Bijan Robinson, you have Christian McCaffrey, and you can pick another couple, and then James Cook would be in that group, which to me means he's elite. So I think the Broncos have to do a really good job on run fits and on tackling. He's the guy that breaks a lot of tackles. I think the second thing is Denver has to be able to run the ball efficiently. I don't think they have to have 200 yards rushing, but at the end of the day, that average per carry, I would love to see it, in the mid 4s. And I think if you can do that, then obviously you stay on the field and you keep Josh Allen and company off the field. And then the last couple of things I think would be red zone efficiency from both sides of the ball. I think when the Broncos get down in the red zone, they have to find ways to score touchdowns. I don't think this is a team you beat kicking a whole slew of field goals. And conversely, that's where the game is won for the Broncos defense. If Josh Allen and company get down there, and I think they're better than some teams and maybe a lot of teams in terms of how they approach the red zone, because they've got a quarterback that they can implement into the running game. He at that point is almost like another running back. And so how do you account for him when let's say Buffalo goes empty and has 5 receivers out in the route? I mean, how do you then account for a guy who's like a running back that is still playing quarterback? So those 3 or 4 things I think are critical.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think the red zone's, to me, the biggest heavyweight matchup of this game. We've got the number 1 red zone defense of the Broncos, the number 3 red zone offense for the Bills, and something has to happen. One of those teams wins there, one of the teams loses there, and I think you're right. I think that could be what decides the game. Is there anything, you're a coach, is there anything that you see that you would try to exploit with the Bills, either in the red zone or just preventing them from getting down there?
Well, I mean, I always say I'm a high school coach, and there's a big difference, right? But I mean, I've gone back and looked at the Bills, several games of the Bills. The Bills in their passing game, to me, relied less on the outside guys than almost every single team that I've seen this year. So you lose Gabe Davis, and it was too bad for him. Another ACL injury in that win against Jacksonville. But I mean, the Bills, when they get the passing game going, it is Shakir in the slot and the 2 tight ends and the back. And I think that's maybe where Josh Allen has taken a significant stride in the last couple of years. He was a guy early in his career that you could count on him forcing the ball into a couple of tight spots, and he gave you opportunities to make plays on defense. He doesn't do that as much, and certainly hasn't done it as much this year. So I think I think that Shakir is his safety blanket. He's a guy. I mean, he had 12. I think he had 12 targets against Jacksonville, 12 catches. So he's a guy that they try to get the ball to in the screen game. He's very quick. He's elusive. Cook can catch the ball out of the backfield. But to me, the tight ends, I think, from the Broncos' defensive standpoint, the tight ends of the Bills, you've got to find a way to make it tough on them in the middle of the field.
Dave, who's a player for the Broncos that you think could be an X factor in this one, make a couple plays that could really turn this game?
You know who I would say? I would say a couple of guys. One would be Jaleel McLaughlin. I think that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, when he gets his hands on the football, he's a determined running back. He's an elusive running back. And he makes a lot of people, but trying to get the ball to him in space. I wouldn't hate it if they line him up and motion him out and then just throw him a hitch on the outside. See how the Bills defense adjusts to having 38 line up in the backfield and then motion him out, and see, it can tell you a lot about what the coverage is based on who slides out with him. But I try to, and I think Sean's done a good job of this, trying to find a way to get him the ball as much as you possibly can. I do think the Broncos have to find a way to sort of re-engage with Cortland, and to a lesser extent, finding ways to get him opportunities in one-on-one matchups to use that size and strength that he has to go up and get the ball. So red zone, I think the Broncos have to be much better than they have been running the ball. I think that's, the red zone is very, very tough, and they've thrown the ball more in the red zone. They've thrown the ball more than anybody in the league, period, but more in the red zone as well. Teams can make it pretty tough on you in the red zone if you're just going to throw it all the time. So the efficiency of the run game in the red zone is really going to be critical as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with those running backs, because it has been, it's 3 straight games where Jaleel's been really efficient with his touches. And it's been 2 straight games where RJ, when you run him between the tackles, things haven't gone well. I think, was it 15 carries for 28 yards or something like that in the last game? After seeing the Broncos stick with RJ for, this basically since J.K. Dobbins went down, it makes it kind of tough for me to believe that they'll actually pull the trigger and give Jaleel the rock more, even though we all see that he's the guy he's got the juice right now.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. But I think you can incorporate him, talking about Jaleel, and not necessarily. We've seen occasions where both of them are in the game at the same time, right? RJ, to me, I think is a young guy who's still learning the speed of the game. He's built low to the ground. I think he's tough to knock down. I think he's an excellent receiver, but RJ is more of a powerful kind of back at this point of his career than Jaleel. Jaleel would be an elusive sort of back. So, I'm with you on that. I think the thing with Jaleel, I do think there's a law of diminishing return. You can't, because of his stature, because of his size, if you keep him in the game on third downs a lot, defenses are good enough that they can, no matter how you protect it, they can force him to stay in and have to block somebody. And it's not a lack of want to with Jaleel. It's simply he's light in the pockets, right? And when you're called upon to step up and take on, one of these inside backers or one of these edge pass rushers from time to time, you're asking a lot. I've always felt like good coaching understood that, you put your guys in the best. And I think they've done a good job in this because they don't ask Jaleel to do that too much. But if he's in the game on a continual basis, teams will force him to stay in at pass opportunities and block somebody.
Last one for me, Dave. you're obviously going out to practice. And Zach was telling us last week about how, you go out there and you have your conversation with Sean for the pregame, but that there's a lot of conversation that goes on before you guys go on the record. So not to get you to go into detail, but what are those conversations like usually?
It's you try to. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I've enjoyed getting to know the head coaches and being able to do their little miniature radio show. And Sean's got his own little unique sort of comfort level in terms of how he does things, and it's different. It's different than other head coaches that I've dealt with. But I think in this being the third year that I've done that with him, I think there's a trust factor and a comfort level. And now what I find is we will just sit and talk about just about football. And I sort of let him direct the conversation. Back when the high school season's going on, he would ask, a couple questions about the high school team and how are things going and what do you think and what do you like and that sort of stuff. But now I think, you can sort of tell, at least I feel like you can, what's the mindset of the coach when you sit down and talk with him. And sometimes not even Sean, but other coaches as well. I mean, you can tell they're locked into something, and now's not the time to try to, make a joke or try to get him to laugh a little bit. Other times, much more loose. This year for him, he's been much more loose with me. I think he feels good about this team, and he said it right from the start of training camp, basically. He likes this team and thought this team was one of 6 or 7 he'd coached that was good enough to get to and win a Super Bowl. So, you know what? So far, he's been absolutely right, and I can't wait to see how things happen on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't think any of us can wait. We waited 10 years to see a playoff game in Denver. That's crazy to me. Longest drought for a home playoff game in Broncos history since they first made the playoffs back in the 70s. Just crazy to think about. Excited to hear your call, Dave. Thanks for jumping on. We'll catch up again next week.
Sounds good, guys. Enjoyed it.
See you, Dave.
All right.
That was awesome. That last answer was awesome.
Yeah. I thought the rest of them were awesome. Dave is just the best.
They were all awesome, but
everything's awesome.
The thought of just like Dave Logan and Sean Payton sitting down and talking football, is just great to me.
And then Russ shows up at the table and there's like, come on.
Well, and just like not a lot of us get that opportunity,
right?
Like Sean Payton probably talks about football with his coaching staff and his players, and no one else.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he has some friends in the business or whatever.
Talks to himself a lot too.
But yeah, that's something I would love the opportunity to do, is just like sit down with Sean Payton and talk about football.
There's a lot you could learn.
Exactly.
There is a lot. We got to wrap things up today, but first got to give a shout out to some of our friends. Bet365 is an awesome partner of ours. And right now they've got a pretty cool offer for their customers. This week, as you've probably heard, the Broncos play the Bills. And if you bet, if there is one passing yard in that game, your bet hits. So it's basically like a free $20 or whatever, because somebody is going to throw for a passing yard in that game. It's a cool promotion they've got going. So make sure, if you're a new customer, go check it out. If you're an existing customer, make sure you take advantage. Hank Guarantee? Yeah. Maybe my first ever guarantee on this show. Yeah, it probably is. I'll guarantee it. There will be a passing yard, or I guess a total of one positive passing yard. Bet365 has all sorts of options. They've got offers for all the different games, even golf starting. They even have golf offers all the time. So breaking news from Bet365, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody who has a gambling problem wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Taco Bell. I mentioned earlier, Lexi out of town. Taco Bell is a great option for those situations. I've got a little NBA parlay tonight. 3 games. Sitting down with some Taco Bell, getting a bunch of writing done. Sounds like the perfect combination. Oh, speaking of the NBA, they are trying to get Nikola Jokic to try the quesarito. You'll remember the quesarito was on the broadcast. It was the commercial was playing when Nicole was drafted in the second round back in the day because he wasn't important enough to be announced on the broadcast. Well, he's never tried it. They want him to try it. And hopefully once he gets back onto the court, he starts checking it out. So while you're at it over at Taco Bell, don't forget to grab something from Taco Bell's crispy chicken menu, whether it's a taco, burrito, or strips. Taco Bell's crispy chicken delivers every time. And with playoff football taking full effect, be the hero of the party. And don't forget to pick up a crispy chicken game day pack featuring chicken strips, soft tacos, and Taco Bell's amazing nacho fries. Definitely a winning combination. Live Más at Taco Bell. Back into the Xfinity studio for the DNVR Broncos podcast presented by Bet365, where if you sign up, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, then you get $200 in bonus bets. Also remind everybody that we have a sale going on where you can become a diehard for only $36 for a year. Get a free shirt. It's a really cool deal, so sign up.
Anything else that stuck out to you from that interview other than him agreeing with us about Jaleel?
Well, we haven't hit our keys to the game yet, but he hit mine. I mean, red zone. That's the big thing to me is how do you stop Josh Allen in the red zone? Luckily, you're the Broncos, and you've stopped people in the red zone more than any other team in the NFL. But, I mean, also that Jags game, the reason they lost was because they couldn't stop the Jags in the red zone. And that was the last time they played, an actual NFL quarterback. And I guess before that, it was Packers right before that. And I can't remember how they did. But, I mean,
great.
It's been quite a while since it's been a month. It's crazy to think about. I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, I think, is going to be so dialed in on what it's going to take to score in the red zone against the Bills and what it's going to take to stop them in the red zone. I think part of it for the Broncos is how good they are in man coverage, which just makes things difficult in the red zone when there's not as much space to spread people out. But Josh Allen's legs are going to be the big thing for me to stop down there. Like, not just the tush pushes, which if you find yourself in that position, like, just get ready for a new series of downs. Don't even waste your energy thinking that it's going to be
but also
stopped.
Don't give up like the Jags did.
No, don't give up. I'm just saying, like, it's
because that was
if you let them get in the 3rd and 1, like you gave them a new series,
right? It was twice the Jags gave up though. Like they played it almost like it was a goal line 3rd and short or 4th and short. And so like when he gets the initial push, they like backed off a little bit. I see what you're saying. And then the second time they did it was when he went for like 7 yards because like 2 guys just came off the pile on their own. It's like, well, no, you gotta play the game. Hopefully because that happened to the Jags, that's something that they show in the film this week and be like, well, just because he got the first down doesn't mean he's stopping. You still have to stop him.
Yeah, and for me, it's just like extending those plays more than the tush push stuff. Like, it's him just getting out there and giving those guys time to break off of their coverage. I mean, it's crazy to think about it because everyone posts, especially the Bills fans are posting the 31-7. Like, that game was hanging in the balance until that Superman-esque play where he throws a touchdown to Ty Johnson
on 4th down.
Like Broncos covered everything, stopped the play design. They did everything they needed to do. And he just runs around back there like crazy, waits and finally delivers a strike. Like that is what you're going to have to try to avoid. But also when I looked back, it's like, man, if the Broncos could have just converted on opportunities early in the game on offense, then this wouldn't have been like this at where the defense just couldn't hang on any longer at the end. Right.
Yeah. And the other thing that he said that stuck out was just Khalil Shakir and the tight ends and the pass game over the middle, because it really is tough to stop. Like those 2 tight ends. I think I got the small chair today. That's a shame. I just noticed.
You're shrinking?
Yeah, no, I do look really small.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take time during the break to pop that thing back up.
Oh, good to know. But I mean, all of those guys, so good in the middle of the field. And he brought up Khalil Shakir, who we haven't talked about enough this week. But like you said, 12 catches on 12 targets, only 82 yards. Khalil Shakir can give you some explosive plays, but specifically late in the season, they've just been using him underneath, and he's just always open. And I don't know what you do about that if you're the Broncos. You obviously have all sorts of options. The way the Broncos have played this year in general is we're going to put a shell over the top of the defense, You're going to have to grind your way all the way down the field, and we've got the best red zone defense in the NFL. So if you get down there, you're only getting 3 points anyway. So we're just going to play that style of football. And third downs, they turn it up a bit and try to get off the field. If you do that against this Bills team, and you think about those weapons that they have with Shakir and the tight ends, those are guys who are built to do exactly that. Mm-hmm. Those are guys who, that is the exact game plan they want the defense to run, because they just live in those underneath areas. So whether Vance Joseph sticks with kind of that philosophy that he's had since he has returned to Denver, which is keep a shell over the top, make them complete short passes, we'll defend the run pretty well, and then we'll stop you in the red zone, or whether he says, let's stick pat on Shakir, let's man up with these tight ends with Jahdae Barron, and we're not going to play this like, yeah, we're going to make you, it's going to be 12 plays to get to the red zone, and then we'll stop you. Maybe you just go out there and suffocate them.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely, positively take away the safety blanket immediately. Mm-hmm. Take away the binky. Yeah. You're just going to have to cry. Yep. It then puts it onto the tight ends, mm-hmm. which obviously is a good matchup for them as well. Yeah. But it allows you to be creative in how you want to stop them. This is the advantage of having Pat Surtain on your team. Yep. Is you can just decide before a game even starts, that guy doesn't get to play today. Yep. And that's what they should be doing in this one, in my opinion.
I agree. And get like, for all the talk about the tight ends, I think I've said it on the show already this week. I mean, there's 10 tight ends across the league that'd take over either of them. You know, they're not like these world beaters. No. They're just the fact that you have 2 tight ends who are fairly athletic. It's awesome. I remember me and Dre did the show, like top 10 tight ends in the NFL in the offseason, and didn't have, at the time it was including Tucker Kraft over Dalton Kincaid that got people all worked up. And then we watched Tucker Kraft play football, and he's better than Kincaid. And so and there's the whole list, Kittle and Kelsey, and you can just kind of keep going, Trey McBride, and then you get down there. So I don't buy that these guys are uncoverable. No. It's just that they allow you to run a little bit different kind of offense. It allows you to run a heavier offense that you have to play base personnel against. It can open things up in the run game. And so I don't know how you attack it, because I don't think that you need to over allocate resources to stop these guys. It's almost like, yeah, just if you want to throw to Dawson Knox 10 times, go ahead and throw to Dawson Knox 10 times. We're going to shut down James Cook. We're not going to give anything to Shakir. And at the end of the game, you might have 13, 16 points.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really interesting. And I think that, I don't know, my gut kind of tells me that the Broncos will start the game seeing what they can do, just doing what they do. Yeah. And seeing how that goes. But having in their back pocket the ability to say, okay, we're going to switch up now. We're going to try to suffocate Khalil Shakir, etc. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, this is what makes playoff football beautiful. It's a full-on chess match, and there's no like in the regular season. There's times where a coach will say like, no, they're going to learn this. Like they're going to learn how to execute this out there. We're going to keep running it. That doesn't happen. Or there's no like, okay, RJ Harvey, not to throw him under the bus. I hope he runs for 1,000 yards in this game. But it's like there's no like, well, this is a big time experience for him. Like, we're just going to keep running. Yeah. And like, no, this is win or go home. And so everything is on a razor's edge. And it's just like, you have to make a move before it's too late. So I think the Broncos might come out doing what they do to start and kind of just like running their defense. I also think it's possible that they're just like, no, there's no time for that. We're coming out with this. Especially knowing the situation. Yeah. Like your first home game in 10 years, that crowd is going to be ridiculous. The speakers are going to be turned all the way up. It's just going to be like it's going to be insane in that building. And so going out there and on the first drive, making it a 12-play field goal drive for the Bills, while that might be a win, it's not really something that fits the moment, fits the vibe, lights that crowd on fire. And so if you go out there and run a blitz on the first play and try to get into the backfield with man cover behind, I mean, I think it might make sense. Typically, I would agree that, like, you know, you keep that shell over the top, you play your style of football and see where you fall. I think you just got to come out attacking. Yeah. I just have this vision in my head of like first down, first play of the game. They like try to run like an out or something to Shakir, Pat smothers it in just the loudest fucking incomplete you've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be so good. What's your key to the game?
Running the ball, even when it's uncomfortable to run the ball. And I think it's the hardest thing a offensive play caller can do. But I think it can reward you in so many ways if you do it and do it successfully.
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it, but a coach once told me you are not committed to the run as a coach until you run the ball on 2nd and 9.
Okay.
And if you do, and you're able to get 4 yards a clip, okay, now you have 3rd and 5, which is a lot better than 3rd and 9 if you don't complete that pass. And I think that Sean is going to have to bite the bullet and say, like, no matter what, we're getting to 35 runs. When you're down 7, that's like another time when it's just like, let's just throw this thing down there and tie this up. No, you got to run the ball, even if you're down 10, which I don't expect them to be in this game. But running the ball when it's uncomfortable and doing it successfully, I think will be a key in this. And this sets up really well for the type of runs that Sean likes to call. He loves the outside zone. He loves the big sweeps. They've loved that for RJ Harvey and Jaleel this year. So, call a bunch of those early in the game, and I think it'll pay dividends in the long term. Yeah.
You're going to get Marvin Mims in there too. I've seen his line at 2.5 rushing yards, but I know I don't take that because it's just going to kill me when it's there. It's all jet sweeps. It's all forward.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't happen. But I'm curious to see when you don't have that power option in the backfield, when you run the ball, you have to be creative because I really think you've got 3 options with Harvey, Jaleel, and Mims, who they're all just pure speed. That is what they are all about. And they might all be at their best when they're used together, which is something Dave pointed to as well, whether it's just Mims on a jet sweep motion one way so that you can free things up for RJ the other way, whatever it may be. I think that using that speed to create angles in the backfield could work, but I'm just curious to see what that actually looks like. Or do you start by running the jet sweep to Marvin Mims? Or do you just run the motion a few times?
Well,
it's tough.
Yeah. Jags started the game with a jet sweep to Parker Washington.
Right.
Loss of 3.
Yep. That stings.
Yeah.
That's why going forward feels a lot better than going sideways.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm curious. And I think that with that speed, you have just so many different things you can do. I mean, you can go empty without a running back. We've seen Marvin in the backfield. We've seen what he can do back there. If you threaten that read option where it's Bo kind of taking up the middle with the outside lane potentially there for Mims, you could start with that, and then the rest of the game, you're motioning Mims to the sideline, creating matchups out of empty.
Yeah.
And so there's just so many different things that you can do with the particular tools that in some ways the Broncos are stuck with, but also together can kind of work well together and kind of, I think, feed into what each other wants to do.
Absolutely. I loved when Dave got his coach hat on out there and he started scheming up let's get Jaleel out wide, throw a little hook to him.
Right.
That was great. But yeah, I mean, that's where Sean Payton is just so fun to have as your coach.
Right.
Because you just know that he's been exhausting himself over the opportunities that he's going to have and how do you start the game and what are you scripting and what do you want them to think so that later in the game you can go back to this and
then you throw the double pass in there. Because you run that jet sweep so many times, then all of a sudden you have the counter right off it. All those trick plays build perfectly off of that sort of thing.
You know what quarterback had the best completion percentage in last year's game?
Bo?
Riley Dixon.
Oh, of course. We're going to go into overtime real quick to hit these super chats before we get out of here. Dogger Deluxe, a new friend of ours.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the late, great Bobby Weir. Not Bronco related, but I know there's some love for him on this pod. 48 hours ago, let's shock the world.
Amen. R.I.P. Bobby.
Yep.
Hank and I actually saw Bobby together one time.
That was a good time.
That was a really, really good time as Dead shows or Dead and Co shows.
Yeah.
For us.
Those guys could play the guitar.
Often are. Yes.
They really know their way around the guitar.
I could go on a whole diatribe. It's probably not the vibe this week.
Overtime is the time.
It's the vibe of a Dead show.
In Boulder.
Unmatched.
In Boulder on a warm night with the sunset and just the weather.
One of the few things that I've ever experienced in my life where I was like, oh, this is like as good as going to a sporting event.
Wow. Very different than a sporting event, but good nonetheless.
Well, and that's the thing is like the sporting event relies on the team for everyone to be
I know,
happy.
because you're just tense.
Dead show. Everyone's just happy.
There's
the whole
no
time.
bad dead show. You're just having the time of your life. Jonathan Swift, $10. First time going to a Broncos game. What a game to choose. Can't wait to see Broncos Country in person. Denver Broncos for life.
Let's go. Make sure you come to the tailgate too.
Yeah.
We'll be recording. Yeah. A lot of people. So everyone has their own like pregame routines.
Yes.
And so people who follow our pregame show are in on it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that don't even know about it because they're probably doing something else during pregame. Watch the pregame show.
Yes.
And we record the pregame show from the tailgate. So if you're coming to the tailgate, we'll be there. We'll hang out. I will be like tailgating.
Right. You will.
Because I'm going to the game.
Right.
So yeah, shout out to Taco Bell, man.
Shout out to Taco Bell. Yeah. Yeah. Come to the tailgate. We don't plug that. There are too many people who ask us about the tailgate, which means that we don't give enough information about the tailgate. It's just right there. It's not technically on Broncos property, which is why we get to throw such an awesome party. But it's like a 4-minute walk to the gate to get in.
Yeah.
Just overlooking the stadium. It's beautiful. You can go to thednvr.com/events and get the link. It's like all you can eat, all you can drink, great food. It's a party. So yeah, we'll record the show there. And I guess this isn't our final show of the week. We have a bonus Friday show.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Dre tomorrow. It's going to be a wild one. We're going to get picks, all that sort of stuff, and we will see all of you guys then.
God bless Bo Nix.
We all silly like the mayor.